your fight, I show you right. On your flight, I show you sight. What it takes is up in the stakes. On my plight, I give you light. On my beats, on my treats. Stamp and stomping, stamp and stomping,
Crank it up.
On your flight, I show you sight. What it takes is up in the stakes. On my flight, I give you light. On my beats, on my treats. Stamp and stomping, stamp and
caught my words in mid-air. The silence hung better. I know I should have treated you better. I know I should have treated you better. I know I should have treated you better. Have you wondered what it could be like? And I was all set to come back home. You were after nothing I could give. Have you wondered what it could be like? And I was standing back on my feet. There's nothing there, so you better. And I know I should have held you closer. And I know I should have treated you better in a perfect world. But we're not always what we promised to be. You caught my words in mid-air. The silence hung as you caught my eye. Conversations locked away in my mind. Treated you better.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the what is that, fourth game of the day? um, kind of losing track between all of our things here, but once again here with my boy Nate Holmes, and we're here for the next game, which is going to be Red Eyes EXs versus Ignite, which we've seen already today a couple times. So Ignite currently at 2 wins in this group stage, and somehow they're going to be giving us 4 more games to cast today. Not sure how they're actually figuring out how to do that, but apparently that is what we have. So Nate, how do you feel about Ascension's and Ignite's chances right now?
I think Ascension are looking favourites to win it. I've not seen a weak link as it is in their armory. They're playing really on point. Their rotations are on point. The team fights are on point. I think they're set to win the top of the league. Ignite are looking solid. They struggled a little bit against Team Ascension, but their roster was a little bit loose from the first game, where we didn't really have players in the positions they usually played. In the second game, we had Hollow in the jungle. He did really good work in that match. We had Fearless on the carry, which is not a position he usually plays, but he accounted himself really well. So I think they're good to go through at the very. I think they're going to come in second at the very least.
Well, we do have a draft here for Ignite versus Red Eyes EXs, or Red Eyes X's is probably a better way of saying that one. But I thought since the last Z was capitalized that it was important. But apparently it is not. So here we go. We've got a draft. The bands Belka and Revenant taken out, which is going to leave both Decker and the Grux available. So Grux not picked up or touched at all in this draft. Again, this is so interesting to me. But what else do you see, Nate?
Yeah. So we're going to see probably, is that going to be a Faye support, which is unusual. I probably would have gone with a Narbash myself. The Faye's all right, but she's got no solid CC. She's only got the slow. Obviously, she can use a fly trap, but you don't really like to waste that as a peel mechanism. You like to set up the sort of wombo combos, especially when you've got a gadget on your side. So we're going to see how that safe lane works out there for Red Eyes. Looking at Ignite's draft, they've got a really solid setup. Severog's still one of the best junglers in the game. Obviously, we have that Decker and Howitzer combination. Fearless is going to be picking up the ADC again on the Twin Blast and RGSA. So we saw him do work in the last game on the Morrigash, so I'm expecting the same sort of things from them. As far as the draft goes on who wins the draft, I think Ignite might take it. Red Eyes have a little bit of a front line because they've got that Rampage and that Greystone, so they've got a really strong front line. And if Yin can get up and running, she's one of the slower ADCs to get up and running. If they can get her online without, taking too many casualties, I think she can definitely do work.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Red Eyes can play against Ignite, who have been, after that initial game, they've been definitely on fire for a lot of this one. And playing up against Morrigash and Howitzer at least should be pretty difficult. We'll see how Mr. Generation Hull, as he is in this draft, will be able to do on the Sevrog. Subjugate should be working out pretty well for him. And I just think that the rest of his team has a lot of lockdown to combo with that as well. Or maybe even set up the Subjugate. So we'll have to see how that goes. Meanwhile, for Red Eyes, I mean, we've seen some of the more experienced and accomplished teams take care of and handle Greystones early. So I'd like to see how this one's able to do. I think that's just the main goal. It's not a really high skill cap hero. You just kind of run around, spin, jump, drop down from the air after you turn into a stone. So it's generally not that hard, but staying alive against some of these more experienced teams, which Ignite definitely are, may be difficult sometimes. So we'll see how Red Eyes can do.
Yeah, I think some players have sort of not read how big the passive change was, because you're not as tanky. You can't just go diving in. You're only taking away one auto attack now, rather than having that extra health, extra armor. So if you've got like a Decker or a range support hero, which will just poke you and take that auto attack shield off essentially. At level 1, it's only 9 seconds, so you haven't got that innate sort of tankability anymore. You're just the hero with his base armor, unless you build armor into the kit. So it's not. Yeah, and even we saw. I think it was the last game where the enemy Greystone was going a little bit too ham and getting caught. We thought he'd have his reforged up, and then he was just dying. So it's just got something they've got to be careful of.
Okay, so here we go. We've got
Red IZXS
That.
versus Ignite.
versus that. Still can't get over that.
These are so good.
Oh, dying a little bit here, but we are here in game for our fourth game of the day. We've got, apparently we are casting 8 somehow. Don't know how that's happening, but in any case, Red X's will be on the orange side. Ignite, a little bit cooler on the blue, but we'll see how cool they stay throughout this match. Nate, why don't you start to take us through some of the teams?
Yeah, so for Team Ignite, we're going to have Obram X on the Howitzer in the mid lane. We're going to have Generation Hollow in the jungle on the Sevarog. Lazarus is going to pick up the support on Decker. RGS Ace 93, gotta get a 93 in there. He's going to be in the off lane with the Moragesh, and iFairless picking up an unfamiliar role as we usually see him on the carry with Twin Blast.
Meanwhile, for Red Eyes X's, gonna be Marjats playing the Gadget, happening to be on the mid lane. Rio Cashin playing the Greystone. We've got Boba 147 will be handling again. Hikes in 93 playing the Fae. And then finally, handling the jungle role, it's going to be HC Shubi. He should be a lawyer. I think he should be a lawyer. He's playing the Rampage.
I'd love to see Rampage just turn up with a suit on, briefcase. I'm here to represent you in court. I think you'd win a lot of your court cases.
Yeah, possibly. I think Rampage could probably just beat them into submission, and then it would all be okay.
We got a deal. You're all right.
Hollo's taking a lot of damage over here in the jungle as a Sevrog. This is probably a result of the changes to kiting inside the jungle. Also taking the green buff very early that he decided to do. So it's going to help him to work through some of these last jungle camps. But he might not have as much of that green camp as he tries to go for some ganks with the river buff. And he's actually going to lose the green buff there. So maybe not as effective as he might like to be, but we'll see how he works with it.
Yeah, I think Sevarog suffered with the new jungle changes because he wasn't the best at the kiting and smashing through the camps to begin with.
First blood, possibly on the Rio Cashin, but he's going to make it underneath the safety of his own tower. I know it's difficult to see that with the observing, but it was happening. He was actually getting quite low.
Yeah, so I think he found it difficult, but as he translates into late game, he becomes an absolute monster in that. So it's sort of like a carry where he has to take it a bit more carefully in the early game. As he transitions to mid to late game, he can really dominate.
Interesting choice here by the Rampage. He's actually gone for the Madstone gem to start instead of any kind of jungle siphon. It seems like he's lagged.
Yeah, it seems like he's just sort of... I think he may have a disconnect here, as he just seems to be gracefully taking Sevarog's hammer to the back of the head.
Or maybe a hugely irrational love for the wall. That could also be a possibility.
Very, very true.
Alright, so in any case, that's going to be Ignite getting started here. And also see the Greystone getting found out inside the jungle. I don't know if any help is going to be needed. He jumps away from the subjugate. Hollow's going to die for this one, and he gets it going underneath the tower. Eventually will die to the Rampage actually getting into that fight. Brahma's going to run in with the rocket. Don't even know if that hit him. Looks like the rocket missed. So, yeah. Howitzer with a good rotation and is luckily for him not going to get caught out inside the jungle. But I do like the Howitzer getting involved. You can just be such a big force when you make it into the other lanes early.
Yeah, I mean, Howitzer's got such a powerful kit with the mine and the Ender of Dreams. He can definitely, when he does rotate into lane, he can definitely make a difference. Just being able to knock people out.
Oh, look, a banner. That means that someone was killed, actually, which we did not see on the camera. But indeed, it did happen.
The little Sluggo banner there from RGS Ace. Is it Sad Sluggo? Is that
that is Sluggo waving his little arm there. There's an Iggy banner now with a bunch of gold because he's really good at farming. Shubi getting caught out inside the jungle. The lawyer needs to... Well, it seems like he needs a little bit of protection himself here. Getting taken down by the Decker herself. We've seen a couple of Decker carry plays here so far in the EU qualifier, and they're going to make their way back into the lane. This Greystone is just
Decker was
happy for a little bit of respite.
Decker was the enemy council, case closed, unfortunately.
Notch says the observing might be way better if we were doing it ourselves, and I can't help but agree with him.
It's hard to disagree with him.
Yeah, hard to disagree with the man, the myth, the legend, another Notch. Here we go on the mid lane. Generation Hollow looking for a subjugate, does get it onto Marjats, and that should be another easy kill. The Sticky Mine is not going to do enough damage at this point to kill off Hollow. And also, this Greystone in a lot of trouble as well. Do they actually have a stun for this one? Carry Decker! Put in the Fearless Twin Blast in her backpack. Usually it's Fearless that puts people in his backpack, but this time it is Lazarus.
Yeah, Fearless. Doing, maybe he's the Sparrow support for the Decker EDC. Just so used to playing support that he's, yeah.
Just so used to playing support that he forgot how to backpack.
I forgot how to ADCs.
Alright, so back into this match off the scoreboard here. I didn't actually get a chance to see anything interesting there because I was still thinking about how Fearless is getting carried. But did you see anything interesting there, Nate?
No, it's just the usual items. It's interesting. We saw a barrier token there on the Severog, which just allows them to take those earlier fights with the casters. Something I've seen some of the jungle players doing, just picking up the odd barrier token or guard token just to give them a little
there it
bit
is again. You see anything?
Let's have a look.
Oh,
no, nothing out of the usual. Just the usual Madstone gems, healer tokens, guardians, and sages rewards. Oh, and parts. Always plenty of parts.
All right.
Oh, I'm having some lag issues, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I don't actually have lag issues now, so it looks like I'm doing a bit better than you. Honestly, I think one thing that could help is just reloading the damn thing. Might just reset everything. So I guess we'll try that when we start having issues again. But again, this is not production done by us, as we see a beautiful mouse cursor in the middle of the screen. That's an interesting addition there. Interesting artistic choice. Oh, the rock picked up by Rampage, but he decides to put it right back in the ground. There's Howitzer from above, throwing in the R2000 missile, going right for the Fae. Easily taken out. The Fae doesn't really have a good way of getting out of situations like that. And they're also going right for the Yin as well, somehow making it into that fight. Ignite are looking pretty good just 8 minutes into this game.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was worried about. When you have a Fae support, she's not really got any solid peel. She's only got sort of the slow and then obviously the the ult. But you don't really like to use that to peel for yourself, especially. You know, you don't mind using it to peel for your carry, but you want to get that on an initiation, especially when you've got a gadget in your team.
Carry Decker picking up the green buff inside the enemy jungle, which was again taken away by or from the Red Eyes X's. And maybe Fearless could be in a little bit of trouble here. Faye is making her way over there, and Rampage is in support as well. Can he hit the rock? I guess only time will tell. Let's see if his health goes down at all, because that's the only way that we have of knowing if he's going to get hit with the gank here. I don't know if the rock is there. A little bit of damage, but Fearless manages to get out of that situation.
Sorry, I'm so used to clicking on the minimap that I went to click on the clean feed minimap and it just paused it. So
you
sorry.
paused it. Oh.
Sorry about that. Sorry guys, I'm so used to actually watching what's happening.
That's okay, because you don't have to resync. This is all done for you. One of the nice things of using this quote unquote clean feed. Brought to you by Gas. I should be an advertisement guy.
Definitely.
So Greystone at level 5 here does have his stone form available, the Reforged. Ace is making his way around here as the Moragesh. Meanwhile, a tier 2 tower is being taken on the other side of the map, and I think a kill as well. Let's see who's low. Looks like it's the Greystone, so he's probably going to get that. Nope, not going to have the Reforged pop just yet. Probably doesn't want to right now. Would love to keep that up when it is at level 1 on that ultimate ability. It does have a longer cooldown, but he's staying here for now. Gadget might decide to rotate over. Still, they're going for the tier 2 tower, though, probably killing off the Greystone. Don't see his health down to 0 just yet. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Landmine is going to be there, and they're going to back up. Oh, finally we get into that lane. Nice. I like it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we got to see a Howitzer just hitting minions rather than a team fight.
And now at 10 minutes, looks like Ignite are just ready and waiting for the Raptors to show up. Looks like somebody might have been right on time to the party while someone was early. Quick tip there, guys. You do not want to be the person that shows up early to the party, because that is when the party hasn't even started. And let me tell you, if you're early, the party does not start when you walk in.
Yeah, so that's when the other enemy teams will start rampaging through. The
True.
enemy rampage, I mean, the rampage HS Shubit is not actually hit level 5 yet, or is that just a spectator bug? Because I found it hard to believe that he's still on level 4.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't look like Red Eyes are able to find a whole lot of levels around this map. Most of them at level 4. We've got 5 on the Yin, 6 on Greystone, and then Gadget's doing the best at level 7, but she's the only one who's barely managing to catch up in levels, whereas in the CXP, I can't really imagine that Red Eyes are too close at all, especially with the massive towers on the Ignite side. Ace managing to dodge the rock from Rampage, just able to outplay him a little bit there. But oh no, Rampage wants this one. He's so angry right now, and Generation Hollow was waiting for him. Can they catch up to him? He's gonna jump away with the leap. Can Hollow catch up? Though he should have a subjugate. Is he going to throw it? We've got Hauser with the landmine. They knew that communication was there. Finally, he throws out the subjugate, popping the Reforged on Grayson. They'll drop down the Make It Rain on him. All these rains of bullets and missiles and all that other crap that Howitzer is going to throw down from above. It's going to be going in there, but here comes the rotation from Red Eyes. Can they do anything against this very tanky Sevrog? He's going to get the sticky mine on top of him and rush away from it. He will. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we've got a tier 2 being threatened.
Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier about the Sevrog, where he does struggle a little bit early in the jungle, but as he gets those stacks, he becomes so tanky that he can just... It's unbelievable some of the times when I've seen Sevrog got to max rank, he's just sitting there just taking inhibitor shot after inhibitor shot, just not a care in the world. Especially when they build up sort of items like... oh my god, I forgot the item, the one that gives you health back when you get stunned.
Quenching skills? Or no, the Oxygel?
Yeah, I believe it's Toxigel. But when they get something like that on board, it is really difficult to kill an enemy Sevrog, because you're trying to like obviously peel for your team and get that CC onto him, but he's just giving him health back.
So I would like to talk about this a little bit. We saw some Rust Breakers in the last match by Ascension, and we see Twin Blast with one right now. A lot of players... Oh, this is a fight, guys. We don't need the scoreboard, although it is a bit unfortunate that the scoreboard blocks out like the entire screen when we look at it. But just Red Eyes trying to force Ignite away from their tower. But we've seen some Rust Breakers picked up, and you would probably have more experience with this than me. Do you see a lot of that on the EU side?
Some of the carries, yeah. I mean, I've seen, especially so a case in point is more like the Revenant, where the decision is between Rust Breaker and the Meltdown, and I've seen both used, and both a good effect. I suppose it's how you want to play your carry, essentially. See the Yin go down. She's taking an awful lot of damage from the damage tick from RGSA's there.
Did you catch that at all? I don't think I could.
Oh no, I didn't catch that one.
No, I catch the little circle popping up on the screen. So this is a rare chance to look at the build. Oh, it's gone now. But we did see that Generation Hollow is at the Mad Spore Sash and a Guardian Sword, I believe, that's built up all the way. So right now Ignite trying to take advantage of every single card point they have over Red Eyes, and looks like those eyes will probably be red for a little bit longer, because I don't think that Ignite are giving up this lead anytime soon.
No, I think just looking to slowly take down, just grind out these towers right now, basically Ignite. So RGS Ace is forced onto his tower just to... Morrigan's not known for her best wave clear. She can sometimes struggle against these large waves. More an assassin than a traditional caster. Lazarus just doing what he can, just landing the slow bubble, just trying to slow this impending march from the minions as they go onto that tower as well.
So right now we're seeing a bit of a lull in the action. We see a lot of spread out farming from Ignite. Not a whole lot of gank squads going out. I feel like that pressure is mainly on Red Eyes to try to get 1 or 2 kills. But the next objective for Ignite to take is probably going to be these Raptors, which should be up in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to, Team Red Eyes is trying to focus this right lane, which is allowing Ace to really push this lane up, which allow then Ignite to rotate onto the Raptors a little bit more freely, because if you're putting pressure, the Faye's going to have to sit further back in that lane. Although we see a rotation now from Red Eyes, I think they know what's going on, but I think they're going to be too late to the party.
Yeah, just a bit too late to the party, and unfortunately, this is not really the situation where you want to be late. You have to be, reasonably on time, not too late, not too early. And looks like it's going to be 2 dead on the side of Red Eyes to start this off. Make it 3. As another one will fall, and I guess, well, there's already a tier 2 tower down in the left lane, so the jump pad's already dead. Very difficult for Red Eyes to respond to this. Just going to be probably another tower taken by Ignite here.
Yeah, Faye's going to try and do what she can, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be enough as that Sevarog's just so tanky right now.
He's just tanking everything right now. I mean, Faye's just getting a little damage done to her. That was one of the interesting things about Moragesh that I was thinking when she came out, is that she has that damage over time, so it's difficult for her to pressure a tower when she has that dot on somebody and they just kind of keep sitting there. But she can just kind of sit in the side, so it's not terribly bad. I just thought it was an interesting thing about tower pressure with the Moragesh, but they still get the tier 2.
Yeah, it's Generation Hollow bringing down that big hammer on the Faye's head there, and just it's not like they're going to push. They're a bit below, so just going to go back in and take some of the jungle camps before they regroup and look for the next push.
So if you were experiencing a couple of technical difficulties that were not related to the clean feed that we're getting on the Twitch stream, we do actually have quality options available on our YouTube. So if you use the exclamation YouTube in the chat here, you'll be taken to a YouTube feed of this exact same thing. And you do have quality options there if it's a bit difficult for you to watch on Twitch. So we do have that available to you guys because this stream is not associated with the PCL at all. We just happen to be working this qualifiers. And because of that, we're not partnered with Twitch, so we are able to stream on YouTube as well. So if that works out for you guys, then feel free to go over there.
Yeah, we just thought we'd do the people service, because we appreciate not everyone can speak German, and we just like the sound of our voice.
I like the sound of your voice, Nate, as I think that Ignite might as well as we get into the next team fight. Decker trying to go forward. We look finally into the rest of the action where Marchats is getting taken down. Meanwhile, Generation Hall seems to be swinging on the backside of these things. They really do need to take the OP or defend their tier 2. They might not need to worry about this push on the left lane, although they do send the Howitzer to go deal with it. So they might lose their tier 2 tower. The last time the jump pads will be used on the side of Ignite, which is definitely admirable for Red Eyes. They managed to get a tier 2 tower out, something that a lot of teams might not be able to do, just being so flustered against a very experienced team.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I don't think they felt they could contest the OP. So at least getting that tier 2, taking the jump pads away from Ignite, and at least having one lane pushing for them. So if Ignite try and do a prolonged siege, if they have at least one lane in their favor, they could still do something with it.
I don't think this push is going to stop anytime soon from Ignite. Fairless leading the way on his Twin Blast, or maybe the push does stop. They have Sevrog working on the right lane, trying to get that tier 1 tower down, which actually hasn't fallen just yet. Howitzer pushing in the left lane. So this is going to be the slow Bernie from Ignite. Trying to light that fire underneath the inhibitor, burn that down, and maybe try to put an end to this game.
Yeah, I'd probably like, while they have the OP buff, I'd like to see a more concise effort to push down an inhibitor. This splitting doesn't seem too beneficial. Now we have the sort of reduced / extended OP buff. I'd like to see him just, really secure an inhibitor, but they feel that this approach will benefit them and just make sure they can lock out this game and take the win.
Gosh, look at the damage onto the Rampage. Nearly killing him off there. Nearly taking the Reforge off of Grayson. Actually does pop it there. Meanwhile, Yin will go down to Bobo. And he didn't even get a chance to stand up. He just got knocked right back down on his butt. On his buttocks. The Greystone is dead. And very last-ditch effort, Tesladone popped out by the gadget, but she's hardly even doing enough damage here to the rest of Ignite here. And Sevrog's still pushing it on the right lane. I mean, they're just trying to push out whatever they can right now. And remember that the Greystone doesn't... He must have just respawned after getting that Reforge pop as well. These respawn timers are solo. The only thing that Ignite have against them here is the fact that these respawn timers are solo, and eventually they're going to have to kill off the core. But they get the landmine back on the Gadget, take her down with Braum, and they're going to go right to try to end this game. Braystone's trying to get out. He definitely doesn't have his Reforged up just yet, and yeah, he's going to die as well. Making it rain. Paying the bills and the containment fence on top, killing off Bobo with the OP buff. They just need a creep wave here, the minion wave. They're both fine. Get off me. And yeah, Rampage is going to fall as well. That should end it. Ignite taking the game over Red Eyes X's and continuing their Group A campaign in the EU qualifier.
Yeah, very well played there from Team Ignite. Quite a quick match, 20 minutes. I'm not sure. Did you see what time they took the LP buff on? It was about 18 minutes.
No, I'm blind.
But just a bit of a slower push. Still effective in the end. Managed to get down the 2 inhibitors and march straight onto the core. I think they could have done it a lot earlier and maybe just gone through the 1 inhibit and pushed onto the core. I think they definitely had the skill and the team composition to do so, but they feel they want to play it safe. Just make sure they get that win and get through this qualifier into the next stages.
So that will do it for Ignite versus Red Eyes X's. Ignite taking a very convincing match once again, only dropping 1 kill. But there were some good moments there.
Such a feeder.
such a feeder. Red Eyes did put a couple of good fights into this one, so we'll see if they can actually get a little bit further in this one. They did play against a very tough team at Ignite, and the rest of the qualifier, they might have a bit more of a good time against. So we'll see what happens there. But that's going to do it for this game, and we're going to go to a pretty lengthy break, about 30 minutes until the next game. So we'll have to see what we can bring you after that. But we should be back then. So thanks for watching, guys. You are watching the Paragon EU qualifiers here on Paragon EU_EN.
Take a look in my life, staring at those deep blue eyes. Now I'm ashamed you've played the game. Missteps, mistakes, they're all the same. I don't know where to go from here. I really wonder how it feels if I listen to the voice inside. If I free my mind, let the stars come out. If I fire through the night, turning darkness into light. Stars up in space, nothing's the same. Now watch me burn your love to ashes. Now watch me burn your love to ashes.
when it's time to.
let the stars come out. If I fire through the night, turning darkness into light, stars up in space, nothing's the same. Now watch me burn your love to ashes. Now watch me burn your love to ashes.
Last from the team, Ray will get the only kill on his team. Well, no, not the only kill on the team. He will even up the kill as well, and now gets Ray, Mamax, and Shinx. Last one's allowed. That's a quadra kill coming out of Shinx. Is it going to be a Fate Penta? He has a Fate Penta.
Enemy pentakill.
More importantly, Lucero didn't land that Rip Lash. She'll fill. He's dabbling toward. Gate doesn't line up. Uses the Colossal Blow, but Emma, meanwhile, he's just zoning at this point. Suki's got up. The stage is jammed. Oh, the skewer on top of the Tesla Dome. They're caught inside of it. And Meds gets taken out. Kwong was not much of a factor in this team fight at all. They're turning over to Imsco. They know where the Punisher is. Strafe was taken out by Arsenic. The curse has been made. Imsco blinks away. Now he's just sitting there in the corner, popping off, trying to use that buckshot the best he can. The hamstring from Rambergos is there. Need to create some space, but Team Finesse. Charge forward. Shield Phil blinks forward. Very, very confidently with very little health, and they get the kill. The Chill Phil dropping down from the high ground. Suffocate doesn't land as Imsco was able to dodge it very, very quickly. Quick reaction from him. But Chill Phil's now isolated. Straight proficiency dropping down from where Chill Phil ascended from. And there's a hook onto Marty. Darbash is going to get taken out, but that's not a high priority target this stage. If Chill Phil can get away, they might be able to look for a re-engagement here. Reckoning, who's it on? It's on Imsco. This could be free. If they can keep Imsco alive, Suki's going to be in a very awkward position. He needs to get the kill. He needs to use the Blur. He does get the kill on Imsco, the Punisher. All the meanwhile, Strafe over here, very, very low. And Team Reborn, a.k.a. Rambergos, a.k.a. the boss, is able to pick up a kill as well onto Strafe. A carry for a carry, but with a double carry composition means he's still got that long range auto attacker. And oh, maybe that's a triple. Rambergos swinging the halberd, swinging that down. And now Suki, he's going to go for it. He gets it up, and he immediately turns over. Chillfield blinks sharp. Oh, maybe a quadrant. Can we get the Penta Suki? Got him, all five go down, and that's a Penta, ladies and gentlemen. 5-man concerted push onto the core. They have the prime card. And they take this against insurmountable odds. Lucero's called out. He's going to try to do what he can. He's still alive. But it's Team Reborn. It's Rambergos who takes out Richter underneath his own core. And already a 4v5 now. Team Oxygen are looking to reset the fight, but Team Finesse wants none of that. Chillfield leading for it. The subjugate does not land on Amari, but you hear Arstic summon the power of the curse. And one of the carries is down now. Chillfield goes down. It's 2v5. Team Oxygen might be able to pull this game around. Suki's isolated. He's tethered. He gets taken out as well. And it looks like Team Oxygen is going to be able to go and win this game down to the inhibitors. This is a unprecedented event inside of competitive Paragon. Game 1 is going to go to Team Oxygen despite the fact that they were on the back foot the entire match. Perseverance, manipulation, and ultimately outthinking their opponents is the path to victory. But we've seen them fall back, refresher fall back, and it's Meds who's actually the one trying to go in.
Well, they're waiting for Arctic for Suki to actually get there.
Boulder lands up proficiency. He's going to fall straight right back into the hands of Ram Riddles. The Stasis Gem is used as well as a reversal of fortune, a combination that has kept people alive in sticky situations throughout the course of the game. But Feng now continues to go in. The ultimate, I don't think it landed there. Actually, the Stasis Gem now forced on Ram Riddles, putting himself in an awkward situation. Here comes Suki charging around the corner, but immediately starts taking pop shots. The Boulder as well. Marty might be able to finish the kill. Can they kill him? Stasis Gem keeping him alive while Chillfield tries to zone up the rest of the team. Everyone on the side of Team Oxygen is so low. They're snared. They're trying to move forward. The curse goes down onto Marty. Is the damage enough? Chillfield's trying to get him. The soul siphon, the big hand. Gets the first kill of this very long engagement. Oh, the landmine knocked and Ram Riddles to his death as well. Smasher grabbing a Chillfield, but he's too damn tanky. Severog just taking all the damage. Proficiency blinks for him. Subjugate onto 2, that's what they needed. But he gets stunned up by the time the Colossal Blow is there. Arctic timed that beautifully. The power falls immediately. The power of your prime is too much containment. Fits it down. And oh, Arctic is taken out too. Chillfield barely lives. The long arm of the law hit him, but it's just barely stayed alive. 3 down on the side of Team Oxygen. Crash! Bang! Boom! Down goes Ram Riddles 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's gonna be it. I think Team Finesse coming in here as an unknown team as just outright the underdog. Leo Grande links forward. Oh, the smasher grab proficiency ascends to the skies to keep himself alive, and now Leo Grande put himself in a very awkward spot. He's getting juggled around. Reversal of Forge and Shield. They're trying to do what he can. Reflect goes in with a strategic reforce. The snare is enough for Leo Grande to get out of this situation. Oh, NATO. The Stasis Gem negates it as well as the shields. Can they keep themselves alive? NATO-Sick finally gets taken out. They put everything they could in to keep that Sparrow alive. That is what they need. The DPS output engine that they require. Oh, Scrape, one more auto attack, one more instance of damage. An unlikely victory coming out here from Team Finesse, assuming they're able to finish it here. 5v3, Prime card still online, Forge down, backing up, make the green being used, both on Leo Grande and Reflect. Reflect has to assault the gates out of there, but Strafe is there. Shoot him. Blink 4, get the kill, over to NATO, GG! Game 1 goes over to Team Finesse. It's going to be an engagement. Leo Grande pulled away as he was engaging forward, maybe looking for a steal. The Stasis Gem on Soul and Nazgul, he's in a bad situation, he can't go for the sky, he's trying to do what he can. The Tesla Dome, proficiency uses that. His zone and anyone out, and yeah, you called it, Jim, so about to make it rain. Still, Nazgul was a sitting duck, and it's a duck hunt for Team Finesse right now. Reflect is on the hunt for proficiency, but now he's recognizing the rest of his team's getting torn apart. The laser through the world, and Strafe does pick up the kill on the NATO. You now see Leo Grande and the rest of Reborn are the ones who currently are holding down and zoning out for NATO. NATO can 1v1 this, green buff or not. It's going to be off. Can they penetrate through the front line of Leo Grande? You have to be careful. Chillfield just takes him down to his death. No Severog online. The challenge of the Warlord hits too. Master Splinter is trying to do what he can, but he gets knocked up in the sky. He's forced to use the Stasis Gem. No shield for Master Splinter coming out. That's okay. They're saying don't worry about it. No shields are coming in. Straight pops up and through the air. Hits him with that auto attack, but Reflect comes over with a big damage in the lifesteal, and he's able to get a kill, but he's the only slip. Oh, he needs Heaven's Fury. Can he do it with the lifesteal? Heaven's Fury is down. He takes him out, but Chillfield and proficiency are still alive. 15 seconds for Leo Grande before he gets back on the field. The Chord's at about 95% HP. It's only one inhibitor. Chillfield's very, very low. They have to respect the damage going out here. It's going to be the Creep. Are the Creep going to be the MVP? Core going down to 15%. 8 seconds, 3 seconds rather. Chillfield's going to die. I think the Creep are going to do it. Are the Creep going to be able to win the game? It is, ladies and gentlemen, Team Finesse by the skin of their teeth.
Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Oh, Miss Lucy dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Oh, Miss Lucy dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Oh, Miss Lucy dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, Green Sally down, last unstruck, gotta tell the Oh, Miss Lucy dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan.
For now you can stay right here, we will play until somehow you can find a slightly different frame of mind. Right here in my arms, away from all harm, you'll be safe from all the flares, although I know you don't care. You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path along the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind. that you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind. And when the light comes through, when that day isn't you, then it will be time for a new frame of mind. When all eyes are on you, you will know what to do, since you will have found your new frame of mind. When you lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines, but always know that you'll be safe. I'll be here throughout your days. Come find me and we will play.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our English cast of the EU Qualifiers. Group A. We have Ignite versus Pyrogenetic coming up here. Team Ascension have already secured themselves the top spot in Group A, and they will thusly be making it into the next stage of the event, which will be happening in about 2 weeks' time. Meanwhile, we have a placing for second in the event, Pyrogenetic versus Ignite, both sitting at 3 wins apiece. The winner of this one will secure themselves the second spot in the group. So obviously a lot at stake here between the teams. And luckily, I have my buddy, Nate Holmes himself, alongside.
Yeah, when I see this Paragon team, now I actually recognize at least one of the players for Paragenetic in Cabadane. A player who's had some issues recently. I believe he was banned recently for one reason or another. But he's a solid ADC. He's a solid player all around. But I didn't realize he'd actually entered into the event until recently. But I mean, the team's doing well so far. They've got 3 wins, the same as Ignite, and like I say, this is the game that could decide whether either of these teams progress further into the tournament.
Yeah, we do. So this is a matchup that has a lot of stakes, and I hope that the Narbash is feeling okay because his face looks a little bit strange. Hopefully he can get that fixed up. But we do have our bans here for this last matchup of the day. Revenant and Decker will be taken out of the draft. That's probably one of the first times that we've seen, or probably not the first time, but one of the few times we've seen Decker banned out of the game. So I'm pretty excited, actually. We do have a Richter here on Pyrogenetic, a hero we don't get to see too often, and one that we have grown to love here on the English scene.
Yeah, it's one of those heroes you always feel there's a place somewhere to be had because everyone gets excited when that hook lands and then into that skewer, and you think, oh yeah, they're the players, especially when it's combined with the blink before that. They're the sort of players that we love to see on like Forsaker's videos. Big shout out to Forsaker. When we see someone blinking, land a hook. But on the opposite side, if the player who's playing the Richter is not great and we just see a lot of missed hooks, we start doing the usual thing where Twitch chat start taking a hook counter, 0 for 13, etc. So it's one of those very sort of polarizing heroes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we love to see Richters do well, but it can be a very difficult hero to play. So, it's just a very good positional tool that they have access to, and if they can land the hooks, it's very good. But what I like to see more are some really good skewers. A very short range ability, but has the ability to lock down some heroes for quite a long time, setting them up for possibly a lot. If you look at the Wombo combo from Pyrogenic, like if you can get a smash and grab on a few heroes into a skewer, that is a lot of lockdown in a very small area, which I believe Pyrogenetic can take advantage of. Meanwhile, for Ignite, they've got, again, their double caster comp with Moragesh and Gadget handling those duties. Iferos once again playing the Sparrow, being the Ranger. And then we have a little bit of control from Generation Hull, as he is in this draft, and Lazarus with the Narbash, which we've seen prove to be very effective in many games today and before in the PCL. So that's a pretty good tournament over there, the PCL, by the way. It's really nice. They have some pretty cool people working over there as well. But today, this is our match for, again, second place. If you guys are wanting a little bit more out of your Twitch stream and you think it's because of the quality options that you're... Actually, hold up.
Ignite versus Pyrogenetic.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how you could not be hyped after that one. So we do have our last game of the day here. This will determine who moves on to the bracket stage of this event in 4 weeks. So, yeah, again, if you're having problems with your Twitch stream and you think it might be due to the quality options, feel free to use the exclamation YouTube command and go check it out over there because there are quality options there and might be a little bit easier for you to watch. If we do start having issues with our feed, I will let you know right away because I will be very annoyed at it. But that will not be caused to go over to the YouTube because it will not get fixed over there. So, let's go. Nate, who do we have here?
Yeah, so for Team Pyrogenetic, we have Enkun on the Grux. I think this is going to be a jungle Grux. Pinpoint Learner on the Sevrog. I think we're probably going to see him in the off lane. Baresti, he's on the Howitzer. He's going to be in mid lane. Ignoto, I'm not sure what those symbols are. Ignoto on the Richter as we talked about earlier, and then Cabadane is going to be picking up the Twin Blast.
Just going for the preemptive hook out onto Ace, who is playing the Maragesh in the off lane. We'll get a little bit of damage done to her here with the grenades. Kind of difficult to work through. Got Braum on the mid lane playing the Gadget. Generation Hollow handling the Kwang. Or Quang, as a lot of people like to tell me. Lazarus handling the Narbash. And then finally, Fairless playing up the Sparrow.
Yeah, he's accounted himself well on the ADCs today. I think after the first match, they wanted someone just who could with probably a little bit more of a solid ADC going on there. And I think no BM onto Hollow. He's been much better jungler than he is in ADC, as we've seen in the games, especially in the Grux game. He did some real good work in those games.
Yeah, good point with Hollow, feeling much more comfortable as a jungler here. But honestly, I think it was just that Fairless forgot his backpack today, so he can't play support.
Yeah, you should never leave home without the backpack.
You gotta carry stuff. That's why you have it in games like PUBG. You have to be able to pick up your backpack. So, like I said, this is a game for second place in Group A, the last spot to make it into the bracket portion of the event, which will be played many weeks later. So, lots of stakes here for the teams, and both of them sitting at just 3 wins apiece. Both of them losing to Ascension so far. So, we are going through our early lane. The buffs are up, finally taken by both teams here. Grex was pursued out of the off lane a little bit there by the dueling combo of Ignite. We'll see if Pinpoint Learner can get anything done with the black buff here, as Sev might want to try to dive Ace a little bit. He is a little bit tanky, but he does not have the green buff to help him out, so that might affect how deep they are willing to dive. Meanwhile, in mid, we see a little bit of... Nope, just kidding. We were seeing a little bit of insight into that matchup between the Howitzer and Gadget, but apparently that's not important for us to look at. Oh, poor Spanish cast. They have just a backslash next to them.
Yeah, it's interesting. We actually have the Sevrog in the jungle and the Grux in the offlane, which is not a position we tend to see him. His kit doesn't really... I mean, we've seen the Sevrog in offlane. He can still do work. Especially if you manage to get your tower up by the time you get your ult, that being able to sort of dash out, knock him into the tower with the ultimate, and then root him under the tower aggro. I mean, Grux can do a similar sort of thing with a smash and grab into the Warlock's challenge, but not quite as effective.
So, in terms of Grux versus Sevrog in the offlane, Sevrog might not have as much access to the stacks there, so they might just decide to be getting those up. And plus, Grux isn't terrible. Like, when he's forced underneath this tower, he does have ways to take out the minion wave with the smash and grab the double pane, and also the charge will get him out of trouble. So, it's not really the worst pick, but might be under a little bit more pressure than he usually would be in the jungle.
Yeah, I think it's more important.
Yeah, also, Grux might be able to put a lot of pressure onto the mid lane. Like, his smash and grab is so much positioning tools and also damage for setup for the mid laners. So that's also one of the reasons why he's played a lot in the jungle.
Yeah, I think both those heroes are quite interchangeable in that jungle role. It's not something we see usually played in the offlane role. People tend to prefer sort of a caster.
There's the sword out onto the Grux, and he uses that charge to get away. Generation Hollow still wants to go in, even though he doesn't have a tool to get there. Subjugate will miss from the Pinpoint Learner, and he is going to have a little bit of help here from the Howitzer, putting in the landmine, throwing our Kwang over to the side. Nice stun out onto the Howitzer, though. Baresti will get taken out of the fight by a nice rotation from Braum and a beautiful stun from Lazarus to take him out. So they get their Quang out of trouble, and they get the kill on their own side for the first blood.
Yeah, that fight could have definitely gone either way. I think the stun there from Lazarus was really on point. That helped in securing the kill the Howitzer.
So apologies there about the team showing up. Apparently our mods are not doing a great job in the chat. But we currently have Ignite on the blue side, and on the orange side we have What is that? Pyrogenetic, yeah. Sorry, it's tough to think of the names when they're not actually on the screen anywhere for me. So Nate, what are you gathering out of this early game?
I'm trying to understand the strategy that Paragenetic are employing. It's something they've obviously worked on. It's something that they're trying to use, but the Grux in the off lane is still a little bit strange to me. I can understand why they're using it, but I think another hero would have probably suited them better there. But it's just obviously a game plan they're going for. They've got a lot of, obviously with the smash and grab and the Richter, and also the howitzer, they've got a lot of pick potential. And obviously the Sevrog as well, if he can get some good ults and some good roots off, they can isolate heroes very well with the team competition they have.
So we're still trying to make our way through the early game. 7 minutes and we haven't seen as much action as we have in other games. And we do see a look at the scoreboard here, the overall card points, a slight lead. Actually, yeah, I guess a very slight lead for Ignite with like a 1 card point on Hollow over the enemy team's jungler. I guess that'll do it. Also, the fact that we're not seeing one of these heroes can make things slightly annoying. But Cabo's been farming up very well with 45 minion kills so far.
Yeah, he's when I've seen him play, he's a very solid ADC. He knows what he's doing in the role. He's happy to just farm. I think they're trying to put a little bit of pressure onto the Moragesh, but Moragesh is always a difficult proposition to deal with, especially if you mistime it and you try and go in and she allows to get the burst onto. As long as Ace focuses one of the heroes and sort of split his damage between the two, he should be able to pick up a kill if they do engage on him. And do that thing what you said earlier, where she'll trade 1 for 1, hopefully onto the carry rather than onto the support.
Sure. So Gadget will rotate a little bit. Was scouted out by the Richter, I believe. Kabadani will get slowed down by the Hive a bit, but I think that's about as far as that one goes, as Richter allows the Twin Blast to retreat a bit, and the rotation from Gadget is slightly wasted. But Ignite still have a bit of an advantage in terms of towers right now. That might change in a second. Wow, they decide to back up. Just the words right now for Ignite making it so that Pyrogenetic can't get into the lane at all. They have very advanced worrying about when those heroes are getting there, and they're not going to put themselves at too much risk at all. As I say that, Sevrog coming in from the backside with the green buff. He's going to get the subjugate on the Fearless, but again, the stun is going to be there, but the Smash Grab will pull the Twin Blast right in. Or not the Twin Blast. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Apparently, Sparrow got morphed into a Twin Blast somehow through that fight, but no, Twin Blast is safe and sound on the other side. And still farming up his merry way. So Sparrow actually killed off there. I don't know. I have no excuse about it being too early anymore. I'm just blind.
No, and that's what we're talking about, that pick potential. They've got so much. If they just focus one hero with the smash and grab, with the howitzer mine, with the subjugate, they can just really isolate one hero and just go to town on that one hero. And that's how I think they're going to try and approach this match and just keep trying to get picks and get the advantage in a 4v5 situation, and then rotate onto Raptors or onto an OP.
Honestly, I think that Ignite were not thinking that Pyrogenetic would be spending so much time going for that gank. They were like, okay, we see them in the jungle, we're going to back up now, and they're not going to spend that much time there. They're going to back away, and they just maybe underestimated Pyrogenetic's will to try to take care of the Sparrow early, which she can get killed off quite often due to her lack of mobility. And all she can really do is put out some damage and hope that her team is behind her, which unfortunately... Your Narbash is still at level 4. He's not going to have the Crash Bang Boom for Peel, and he's only got a stun. So just limited survivability right now.
Yeah, I mean, he has got obviously the increased speed, but if you're just getting CC chained all over the map, it's not going to really come to much.
So we do have the Raptors spawning here. And right now, Pyrogenetic are trying to secure that area with the Grux. They're moving both the Sevrog and the Twin Blast in to try to get the early lead. They did manage to get the tower down in the other lane, so they have the perfect rotation over here. and I don't think Ignite can get into the area fast enough. Their word control is somewhat okay around there, but they don't have the best vision of the pit, which means that Pyrogenetic can get the hook back on the Lazarus as well as the Raptors. They're going to kill off a Narbash here. Can they get anything else? Gadget maybe stuck inside of the river. Move that camera, boy. Let's go. Let's get over there. Dropping down the Tesla Dome. Braum is going to be killed off quite quickly here, bleeding out. Gets killed by Cabodani, and our cameraman can barely contain his excitement as it's a twofer for Pyrogenetic to start it out.
Yeah, and that's what we see. That just turning it on with that pick potential, just everything, the pulls, the roots, the mines, everything coming out, just isolating Team Ignite here.
It doesn't really seem like Ignite are wanting to commit to too many fights right now, and that might end up hurting them because they need to communicate that kind of desire with the rest of their team. Sometimes when you go into a draft or some kind of playstyle, you have the captain has something in mind, which they should. That's something that's very big when it comes to drafting. You need to have some kind of playstyle that you want to go for with your lineup. Yeah. And right now it seems like there's a bit of miscommunication on Ignite's side.
Yeah, I mean, at first look, it looks like they've got a solid lineup, the right heroes in the right positions, but nothing that really sort of syncs the heroes up. You got a Narbash and a Quang maybe trying to get those picks. You've got a Gadget, but nothing to really lock in the heroes. I mean, it's still good for securing or in the Raptor pits and type sort of areas, but we haven't got like a deck. I mean, if you can land it on top of a Crash Bang Booms, good. But they're going to have to. Lazarus is really going to have to pull out the stops to set those up. If you want that wombo combo to come down.
Yeah, it just doesn't really seem like Ignite are on the same page when it comes to what their lineup is good at and what their game plan should be this match. So we'll see if they can figure that out or come up with some really good team fights. They're not getting too far behind right now, but losing a couple heroes around the full Raptor take is definitely not the most optimal of strategies. Now Richter with a nice engage out on the Narbash, taking him down right quickly, but Cabotani easily killed off by Ifraeus. This could be a good turnaround for them. Richter, very tanky, but Richter about to fall down here. Landmine will take them away, but the sticky mine eventually will be the demise of the Richter. Now Howitzer in the middle of 3. Can he actually get out of this one? His landmine has to be down. The Tesla Dome will be there. Subjugate keeps him there for a little bit, but it's not going to matter at all as the 3-hero beatdown from Ignite continues.
Yeah, it was a very good counter engage from Team Ignite. Even though we might, like we say, the team might not synergize as well as Team Pyrogenetics, the communication was on point. They knew which heroes they wanted to go on. They would make sure they're just securing the kill rather than splitting their resources. And a 3-for-1, I think that engagement ended up being. So a good turnaround there from Team Ignite.
Yeah, it really was really working with the damage of Ifraeus. Now in the other lane, the pool goes back on the Gadget, pulled right underneath the tower once again. The good tether is there from Quang, but can they actually get this one? The Ventilate pulling out the stops here to take out Gadget. So Cabodani proving that he is truly a match for Ignite here as they find a fine kill on the Gadget. And the rest of the team has to try to get some stuff done, get some work done elsewhere on the map. Oh, subjugate onto Ace. Here comes the Sevrog, gonna push Ace over into the corner, and I don't really think that's a place that Ace is gonna feel comfortable. Morrigesh generally not very good against the large tanky heroes unless you can get the Tainted Magic, which obviously turns the tables a little bit. But unfortunately, these tables have not been flipped just yet, and Morrigesh will die in the middle of the OP pit.
Yeah, I think that wherever they found themselves in that 2-for-1 situation, they just need to get out because Team Pyrogenetic have the tools just to keep them there and just keep the damage piling on if they find themselves isolated like Ace did just there.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ignite, they're about to lose another Tier 1 tower off the map, losing a bit of the map control. Luckily for them, Tier 1 towers, just some CXP, maybe a little bit of map control, but in general, it's not terribly harmful to lose the Tier 1s. But the thing is, if you lose the Tier 2s, if you lose the jump pads, that's GG. Just kidding.
Yeah, those Tier 1 towers are usually they're the sort of the throwaway towers. Although you are giving up a lot of, like you say, map control and your ward control really needs to start being on point at that stage.
Riplash falling a little bit short here. Gadget in with some damage. There's a Crash Bang Boom in the middle of the Tesla Dome. Meanwhile, Ace is getting some kills against the Sevrog. Narbash is going to die in the middle of the grenade, but at least he was able to help to get the Richter kill first. Now, that already happened actually. Sometimes it's so difficult with the observing to know when kills are actually going on around the map. But no, nobody else is dying after those couple of engagements. But here come the Raptors, and Howitzer immediately ready for it. Goes right for the Make It Rain, allowing Twin Blast to clean these up. And let's see if iFairless can get into this at all. Braum is there. Cabadani being zoned out a little bit. He could get cleared out if he's not careful. iFairless is going to chase. He managed to evade the landmine and does not want to go too far without the rest of his team. I think all the Raptors must be down. Cabadani still wants to go over there. I think one might actually be up. I still see a health bar over there.
Yeah, I think there was still one left up. I think Cabadani managed to get two quickly, but then the engagement came in from Ignite. And I think he thought better of it. Not worth that Raptor for your life.
So nobody ends up getting that one. We do see now the Blink Tur is up. Teleblink on him along with the quenching skips. The word is good as well. Can Ignato find... Oh, actually that's 2 Raptors up. I kind of missed that because they weren't on screen. But they will clean those up. And funnily enough, although Ignite did force Pyrogenetic away from the pit, they didn't actually take any control there. They just dropped a word right in the middle of it and didn't have the personnel to respond to anything.
Yeah, it's difficult to see with this map bug where they actually rotated to out of that Raptor fight.
So hopefully we can get a look at the full scoreboard pretty soon. But Sevrog seems to be going for a bit more tankiness right now with the tempered plate. Fully upgraded, and Twin Blast starting to move into the crits.
Yeah, he's got the mad stones for days, and then he's just starting to move into those Spear of the Rift Hunters, just trying to get a little bit of crit before he gets his crit bonus online.
So
Gadget building the quartz blades.
Yeah, we have been seeing a little bit of that one. It's honestly not a bad card. Can you maybe go through exactly what it does? Or the stats?
So the difference between that and what people usually take in, say, like the adamant edges, it just gives you a little bit of mana regeneration, which on the casters can be beneficial. I think it's when it's maxed out, it gives you 0.3 mana regeneration if you don't put any more into it. But that can just keep your caster sort of ticking over. Just give them a little bit. It might give them just an extra Q or something. You know, just that little bit extra in the tank. Unless they do build deep into it with mana regeneration. But we find that often, if you can keep your mana potion, that's more than sufficient enough to your mana pool gets large enough where you can have those sort of protracted fights and still have mana in the tank.
Yeah, it's very important to try to manage that. And also, having the river buffs can help somewhat.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have that little extra boost when you don't always have the river buffs. That's sometimes why I like to go with a Lord's Word on some of the more mana-dependent junglers. Because you don't want to be going back to base all the time.
Especially someone like, say, Sevrog, because when you use that root, the root is so mana intensive. You can maybe get 2 roots out, and then you find yourself, oh, I've got to go back to base. And anytime you base, and obviously you're not being a presence on the map, you're not farming, it's wasted time essentially. So, I mean, this is why I think we see a lot of junglers pick up the quenching scales, because that's got an innate sort of nearly 1 whole mana regen per second, which is enough to just tick them over. Especially on like heroes like Sevrog or say Rampage, where again his boulder throw is quite mana intensive as well.
We do see, I believe, that 7-point card is a Tainted Magic on the Maragesh, if I'm not wrong about that one.
Yeah.
It does look slightly purple. It's kind of difficult to see on the replay sometimes when you're not actually looking at the scoreboard, which hint hint, we should probably do. But it is a very good card for getting these tanks down, with the Grux getting a bit tankier, and you also have a Sevrog on the other side as well. It is nice to get those heroes down.
Yeah, the Tainted Magic we've seen now is it suddenly when it went to the neutral and it had its slight rework. The amount of damage that can really put on, especially if it's on a hero like a Maragesh, where she's just trying to tick you down, and you know, you think you're out, and then the last third of your health bar suddenly disappears from those ticks.
Pinpoint Learner looking for a bit of an initiation. He seems to be on the adventure. He might be somewhat of an explorer. Maybe we'll call him Vasquez. But he wants to make his way through the enemy's jungle looking for a subjugate, but he's been scouted out a little bit. They're trying to take control of the vision right now, and eventually they do. They took a little bit of a while to determine if there was a word there, but Ignite seemed to be trying to turtle up a little bit right now as it's Pyrogenetic on the aggressive side.
Yeah, I think that they're aware that Paragenetic are maybe looking for a pick, and I think after the first initial sort of flurries where they thought, right, we are getting a little bit too isolated. We need to stick a lot closer together, so those rotations.
Oh, there's the stasis gem here by Lazarus. We love that card here. And he's going to be quickly taken out nonetheless from Cabadon, even though he does have the Honor of the Pure available. There's the Warriors Challenge going for Ifairless, but only the Grux is going for it. And there's the Judgment, the Fury, everything going in right for the Grux to take him out. And now it looks like Ignite want to try to keep this fire burning. On the dance floor, Ignata will be having a little bit of a hello with Generation Hollow. Skira's going to be there. Where's the rest of the team? Capodani in with the grenades, but Generation Hollow, he's completely okay with trying to tank it up, but he might have tanked it up for a bit long. The fight is going on. The fight is moving around this wonderful camera view. We've got Richter about to fall to the Sparrow, but yep, she is going to get taken out by a rocket. And right now it's a 3 for 3, but can Gadget do anything else? She misses the sticky mine, and Braum, I don't know if he can catch up to this one or even do enough damage at a low enough risk to himself. So it's just going to be all right. He's going to blink in with the Tela. The Tesla don't drop down. Howitzer in some trouble, but can they clean up this Gadget? She wants it, but she can't find him. Here comes Lazarus. He'll save us, taking the kill there. But actually, I think that might have been a very elongated full 5-man team up with Lazarus respawning at the end of that.
Yeah, I think it was only pinpoint Lena didn't actually go down at that point. Enkun went down very early. I think he chased a little bit too deep for that Sparrow. It might have been a lack of communication for his team, because he did do well to get onto it, hit with the smash and the grab and the Warlord's challenge, but then found out that there was no team and he shouldn't got turned on and taken. I was just wondering about Hollow, when he had the 1v1 against Ignite. I can understand why he didn't want to sort of commit, but when he saw he was going to die, he didn't really throw any attacks at the Richter, didn't even auto-attack him at that point. So, I'm not sure what happened there.
I don't know. You might have had a couple things on cooldown, or maybe was saving them. I'm really not that sure, but still managed to, I don't know, bait his team into something. It didn't go terribly badly for Ignite there, but the thing is, they kind of lost their tank, and so any damage that Pyrogenetic were doing after that one was into very squishy heroes. So things were kind of set up for them after the Quang kill to take a little bit more. Enkun will be scouting out Fairless inside the OP pit here, but no engagement will be made just yet. So interesting pickup of the hemorrhage very early on Sparrow.
I mean, it's 34 points, so it's not too early, and that attack speed that it does give you, and obviously the movement speed, which is another good boon for Sparrow, just giving it at least that little glimmer of hope of escape when those team engagements go a little bit the wrong way. So it's a very good card for her, but obviously you don't want to get caught using that in those bad team fights, because you take increased damage while the Berserker is procced.
Another interesting build thing that I wanted to bring up is the fact that Howitzer went for a 12-point Adamant Edge, I believe, as one of his first cards, which generally this early in the game you don't see that.
No, well, you tend to try and graduate your power creep and just filling those cards out that you want. That's why we always see these 1/1/1s in Madstones or Adamant Edges, just trying to get the completion bonuses as possible. So 12-point cards are usually a real no-no, because you're missing out on that power for so long.
Also, the Empyrean Mask on Hollow.
Yeah,
so
it's a card I really do like now. Since they changed it, and you now get 4 points for 4 points, or essentially 12 points for 4 points, because you can obviously cycle through the abilities of it. But now it's 4 for 4. It's definitely one of my favorite cards right now.
Right now, though, again, Pyrogenetic want to be on the aggressive, and I can't say that I mind this at all. This is a lot of fun to watch from Pyrogenetic as Ignite. They're just trying to spread the map right now. You can see how defensive they're being. Morigesh knows that Pyrogenetic are lurking. She's not going to step up to the wave. Neither is Sparrow. They're going to maybe get set up for a fight at mid, but Margash really doesn't seem like she wants to join this at all. So interesting trying to read the movement of the players here based on what their strategy should be. Clearly Ignite feeling like they're against the wall against Pyro.
Yeah, I think it's one of those once bitten, twice shy sort of things where they're not scared, but just a little bit nervous to go in there. That they know the pick potential the enemy team has, and they don't want to be the person that gets caught. Although they could force something. They're actually on the OP right now. I don't know if they're trying to bait it or they're actually trying to take it.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's kind of hard to tell, but Hollow, he's ready to go right in regardless. He's actually going to be the first one to fall. Richter soon to fall after. Tesla Dome not really hitting on it too much. Stasis Gem for Lazarus, keeping him alive for a little bit more as Braum tries to get around this. And OP is like, let me into the fight, guys. I want to fight too. But it looks like Pyrogenetic are going to be taking a pretty good fight against Ignite, which actually ends up rhyming, which I wasn't really working on at all. But the one thing here for Pyro is that they can't go for OP. Their health bars are too low. And, oh man, Morgash scouted out. Has to be careful.
Yeah, the Howitzer Associate was there, just blinked just to sort of see her off. I think Ace still knows that someone's there backing and seeing if he can get a cheeky kill. But the vision for Paragon is too good. Well, they just realised that both these names are actually named something related to fire, both Pyro and Ignite. And both teams are lining this match up because this is one of the more balanced matches that we've seen.
Probably the most balanced.
Yeah.
It's actually fun to watch some teams really go at each other here. The current prize pool, $2,500 here. I think that's all provided by Epic so far. They've been giving $2,500 to the winners of these qualifiers, which, fun fact about that, the winner of this EU West qualifier will make it into North Carolina to play at Epic, or close to their headquarters. And they will be playing for a $15,000 prize. And so these teams have a pretty long road ahead of them. I'm actually really interested in knowing how that bracket is going to work, since it's best of threes the whole time until finals, and that's kind of a long weekend for some of these teams.
Yeah. I mean, that's a long weekend for everyone involved. I think when you're playing, it's not as bad because you're doing what you enjoy. You've got that sort of that good nervous sort of feeling where you want to get into games and you're excited. I mean, when you're in a big, I think that's something. Yeah, you got that adrenaline rushing because you got to remember these guys are all sat at home in front of the PCs or the PlayStation.
Well, actually, hold that thought. We do have a bit more adrenaline here. Twin Blast, the first one to fall. A great start to Ignite's team fight. And they get a beautiful crash bang boom by Lazarus onto 2. Richter's going to fall. Lazarus taken down by the shot from Howitzer. Looks like we do have a replay bug on the Grux. But the call goes out to go for OP. They've taken down 3 members of the enemy side. And Grux will ward this up. But I don't really know if he can do anything to stop Ignite right now. They take a beautiful fight, only losing their Narbash, a lot of their sustain, but they can go for OP. We'll see if we have any plays here from Pyrogenetic to try to stop them. Let's see if Grux can get in the fight. He's going to be chased out a little bit by Margash. She's just scary enough as is to get him away, and the OP belongs to Ignite.
Yeah, very good turnaround from Ignite because it looked like they were just slowly starting to get grounded out of this match, but a good team fight into an OP take, and this is where they could turn the game around and put themselves on the front foot definitely right now.
It's really looking good for Ignite after that last one. It was very important for them to take the Twin Blast down immediately in the last fight, taking out most of the sustain, and also it didn't really look like Pyro were showing up to that fight at all. Didn't want to commit to contesting the Raptors, and I think that's been a lot of the problem in this game for both teams. When they end up losing, it's because they could not commit to a fight. They didn't have the rotations, they didn't have the personnel that they needed, and that eventually leads to their downfall. So both teams might be looking to group up a bit more in the future.
Yeah, it's not that the rotations have been sloppy, it's just that they feel like the team's probably telling them they have to deal with a certain issue, or they just want their ADC to farm, or, but that's just taken away, and I think both these teams would do better to stay closer together with their team
Here we
See
have
another
some
engagement.
trees and leaves in the middle of the screen. Lazarus will get hit with the skewer, but he wants to get into this one. The Make Rain putting a lot of damage onto Ignite here, even with the OP. They seem to not really be able to get through this one. They want to take down the Twin Blast, and they're still not able to get there. The Landmine is going to knock them away, but eventually the Sticky Mine will... Or that's not a Sticky Mine that's going to kill him, but it's doing some work. Ace making his way away from here, but I don't know... Oh, nice. Stasis Gem is going to kill off. You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. They just popped the Stasis Gem at the same time. But in the end, it is going to be a full 5-man team up on the OP buffed Ignite squad. And, well, I see a Sevrog just couldn't really take the pressure and had some performance anxiety falling over there.
I think that was just the Maragesh whispering in his ear just as she died. So I believe that was a full wipe. I'm not sure what happened to Grux as he has the
Replay
bug where
bug.
it, yeah,
looking
we're not even
great.
seeing it. He's just killing these minions with his mind, right?
I think he might
So,
have
yeah,
lagged out
it's-
again. No, he was actually recalling, and which we can't even see.
So good. But yeah, what I was impressed by then was Paragenetic. Cabadoni was on about 4 hit points for about 30 seconds of that fight. And his team did so well to body block, to peel, just to keep him out of danger and keep the damage coming out from their ADC there. And I think if they hadn't have done that, that fight would have gone a lot worse for them.
Anyway, if you guys are having problems with the stream in terms of quality, that might be fixed by lowering it a little bit. Make sure you check out the exclamation YouTube command. That'll show you the YouTube restream of this, where you can lower the quality if you have to. Meanwhile, we have a rare look at the scoreboard here. Thermobond on a hero on the one side. Didn't even get a chance to look at it. Gosh darn it. But at least we have a fight here. We're taking a look at this fight. Subjugate will hit onto Lazarus. He tries to throw out the Thunk, but Thunk it goes into the wall. And it makes a very satisfying sound, I'm sure. But it doesn't make the satisfying sound of hitting someone right in the skull. So both teams will disengage there. No one's... well, actually, it looks like it's going to be, again, Pyrogenetic on the aggressor. And we have an unkillable Grux, so why not?
It's the best kind of Grux. Oh, I think RJ has the similar bug as well now. So he's
nice.
both dead and immortal.
It's kind of an unstoppable combo. So we'll have to see how it works out between the two teams. My sound is gone here on the stream. We've got Ignoto, I guess. Ignoto getting caught out a little bit here. Underneath the Tesla Dome is going to keep doing a lot of damage to him. Nice Stasis Gem from Lazarus as they try to kill that unkillable Grux. I don't know how it can happen. Same with Ace. Make Your Rain drop down. Hull has to try to get out. Here comes Braum. Meanwhile, Iferos, he hasn't been taken down on the other side, and he's still doing a huge amount of damage. He's going to have to try to get away from the Sevrog right now, and he needs his team to get there. With the Stasis Gem, he is going to eventually fall. My sound is back now after that entire fight as Pinpoint Learner tries to get away, but the Gadget will relentlessly pursue him, as does that unkillable Ace. Ace kills him with the curse.
Yeah, I think they might have been able to sort of get that kill a little bit clean and not have to use the ult, but probably better to secure it, and then they can push on to this tier 1 tower. It's still up at, the mid tier 1 tower being up at 35 minutes is quite unusual.
Oh, also, my sound is cutting out once again. And what is this? Oh, they have... I love it. I love it. This is amazing. They fixed it. They have anti-spoiler. Oh, I love these German
nice.
guys. That's great. No spoilers, so I don't have to clear it up myself. Good show.
Good work.
Good
Good
show.
work, guys. They're evolving.
Yeah, I like this. Maybe we can teach them how to actually observe a game next. Shots fired.
One step
Shots fired.
one step at a time.
Okay, so another thing about those card points is that when your hero is bugged out, and I guess I can drop a little bit of knowledge about the observing system here. When the hero is bugged out like that and you can't see their health bar, it's at 0, it means that their level is not going to change, and also their card points and all other stats don't change on the scoreboard. So if you see someone a ridiculous amount of points behind, it's not always the fact that they're behind. It might be that they're bugged out. So just a bit of a heads up there. So hopefully that gets fixed, or got fixed, now that they changed that around. But yeah, in any case, Pyrogenetic I like their aggression here. All right, we should really take a look at the scoreboard, Nate.
We should. Oh, there we go. So the farm disparity, Paragon a little bit in front. As
great.
for the card points, I think the ADCs are both level pegging. I think they're around 50 CXP apiece. The team fights seem to be going sort of one way than the other. No one really pulling ahead. So yeah, Fearless on 51 and Cabadon. Oh, he's actually on 60. I thought I said 50. So yeah, Cabadon's actually got a 9-point lead on Fearless, which is huge in those team fights. 9 points, obviously, it's a completed card essentially in front of Fearless. So he's going to be putting out a lot more damage. But as you know, the Sparrow, her kit allows for that disparity to be sort of close the gap, as it were, with her ultimate being so powerful in those close confined team fights that we have.
What's up, Nate?
Sorry?
Well, are you here? You cut out for a second.
Oh, sorry about that. I can't remember what I was saying.
Almost have a subjugate. Nice little dodge there from Hollow. And you see the Sephiroth, he is angry. Although it doesn't really look like Ignite want to temper that anger at all. They might want to try to put Sephiroth into an anger management class, but that's not going to be happening this time around. And it is time for the Prime Dance once again. Both teams making sure that the other can't take it, while also not taking a bad fight themselves. But Cabadani gets started. I was letting my Americanism come out there, but they're gonna have to back up. Generation Hollow a bit far. He's isolated from his team as well. Breaker's gonna go for it, gets a hook back. Here comes Hollow. He is tanky, but is he tanky enough? Answer is no. Cabadani is going to find that kill. What else can Pyrogenetic get here? This is the second slot, the battle for the second slot in Group A, a spot in the bracket round, and it's time for Ignite to get back. Meanwhile, this opens the door for Pyrogenetic to go for OP, and honestly, Ignite cannot let this go down. Fearless and Braum ready to go here, looking for some harass. Oh, the Grux is getting taken quite low by it, and eventually he's going to die to Ace. Must have been a mark there. And, oh man, these members from Pyrogenetic are quite low. Cabadani trying to get out. Is he going to make it out? He gets a blink away. Who else is chasing him? Looks like nobody. They got distracted by a Richter and did kill him. It's going to make it so that the Prime is still available for each team, but Pyrogenetic licking their wounds a little bit as they get back to their base.
Yeah. I think Paragon obviously got that pick onto Hollow, so I thought, we can initiate on this, but a very good re-engage there from Team Ignite that sort of even things up and chase them out of the pit. But is it going to be when these respawn timers come back down? Are they going to have enough time to come in and do anything? But it's going to be a 4 versus 3 if they do.
A 4 versus 3 plus an OP buff on the side of Ignite. They take another advantage here. Last time the Prime buff did not work too well for them, but this time things might be different. We'll have to see. Oh, trying to choose the camera. I like it. I like the choice of hero chase. Good camera. 10 out of 10.
Would pick again.
Yeah, would pick again.
Yeah, it's a bit back and forth. I think this has sort of been, the epitome of the match where you think it's going to go one way, then it goes the other way for either side, where it looks like it's a really good engagement from one side, but it turns out to be a better re-engagement for the enemy side. All on the Raptors and on the OP buff. So these objectives being really telling. It's usually the team that goes in first have come off worse off.
Right, or you have to get some kind of a pick off beforehand.
Yeah. I think I'd like to see him put a bit more emphasis on the map pressure, as in pushing the minion waves and then going for the objective. So if the team try and come to engage, you're fine to back off and let it stall out because your waves are pushing into the enemy towers and they have to react, allowing you to get that objective a little bit cleaner.
We're waiting for the reaction here, but it seems to be coming a bit late from Pyro. Twin Blast has yet to show up to this fight. We'll see when the initiation comes through. There's a smash and grab by Grux. The inhib about to fall. It will. Sparrow with the stasis gem, keeping herself alive for a little bit. Hey, Rambo, looks pretty good. In any case, Fearless, he is going to try to stay alive here. No one's fallen just yet from Ignite, and they might be securing themselves the second spot into the bracket round. Ascension already have theirs. Can Ignite follow up with another one? That was the first match that we saw today, easily taken by Ascension, but can Ignite improve? Looks like they might have. They have an inhib. They have another tier 2. Can they go further? They have the minion wave here. What can Pyrogenetic do? Is the Italian squad going to be enough? They'll take down the inhib. The grenades are flying. The thunks are going. They pick up Richter. They want to get him out. Or not that Richter, it's a howitzer, typical to tell with these small models, but eventually it does fall, as does the Twin Blast, and that looks like Ignite might have just secured themselves spot number 2 out of Group A into the bracket of the EU qualifiers. We've got Grux. He's not immortal any longer. He's just going to jump in the back of his base as Ignite try to... Well, they did. They secured themselves the second spot in Group A. I don't know. I was going to say they were about to suicide or something, but you know what? Even that wouldn't have stopped them on their route to the finish. So that's going to do it, Nate. Those are our 2 qualifiers. We've got Ascension in spot number 1 in Group A, and spot number 2 will be held by Team Ignite. Well done to them.
Yeah, really impressed. They looked like they were a little bit under the pump early game with this pick potential from Paragenetics doing just that, you know, getting those picks off, and they looked like they were under a lot of pressure, but they just held their own. They sat back, they sat deep in their own sort of territory of the map, farmed up, and when those big fights came around, they were able to turn them around, and the counter engages from Ignite were really impressive, where they looked in such a bad position, but even when I think when Hollow got picked off on the OP, I thought this could be really bad news for them. But the re-engagement when they went back into the OP, just astonishing how well they cleaned up there.
Yeah, it definitely was. So I believe that's going to be it for our coverage of the qualifiers today. I'm not sure if there's going to be anything else. I guess it kind of works out for that's Nate on the right side. I'm on the left side with the cool looking hair, the happy face. Obviously, a lot happier than I normally am. I don't like looking at cameras. Stop it. In any case, I believe that does it. As we do have our top 2 spots decided in Group A. They might have expedited that process a little bit in the end, but we do have our 2 qualifiers. Nate, how do you feel about the action today?
Yeah, I think I don't want people to think we're being. I don't want people to think we're being disrespectful to the teams that didn't make it. It was just the 2 teams that did make it, and even Pyrogenetics. That, you know, there is a clear skill disparity between the teams, and sometimes it can be a bit of a, no, I don't want to say pub stomp because that's unfair, but it's just a lot of the teams, they haven't got the experience playing, whereas these teams that have been around, I mean, Team Ignite is still a fairly new team, but they've been playing the game for an awful long time. I know Ace and Hollow have been playing together since the Alpha event, so they know each other, and they picked up another experienced player in Fairless. Mr. Wacko didn't actually make an appearance today. He's usually their usual ADC, but I think Fairless did a very good job of covering for him in that role. Still trying to go into support mode at sometimes, giving the support the kill instead of taking it himself. But yeah, I think the 2 teams that have gone through thoroughly deserve to go through, and I'm looking forward to seeing them further progress into the tournament.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's another good point that you brought up as well about the newer teams. While they might not have had the best success against some of the more experienced ones in this event, it's a good stepping stone. It's important to get some experience in competitive scenes right now, where Paragon is right now. And I expect to see a lot from these teams in the future. I hope that they can stay together and maybe learn a little bit more, so that we don't have groups that are very clearly a 2-team race. So we will be back tomorrow with the Group B action of the EU qualifier. And also the NA qualifier starts next week, which we will be on the regular PCL channel for. So make sure you guys stop by then. But for now, I'm Pith, he's Nate, and we'd like to thank you for watching the EU qualifier today. Cheers, guys.